Hi guys, this is Lachette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back again with this new video. I don't know what that was about, but this video is for the letter M for the YouTube Pagans Challenge, and I will be talking about music. Music is a huge part of my life. It's kind of hard not to talk about it, just because I've grown up with it being a backdrop for my everyday, and gotta have my music. Anyway, so of course it is also a big part of my spiritual practice, witchcraft. And I want to talk about it in a personal sense, but also in a general sense of pagan music and music in ritual. So, the way music is used in witchcraft and in ritual is usually in one of three ways: atmospheric, or singing and chanting from the participants, or the use of instruments, either by the participants themselves or as some musical device, recording or something like that in the background, and also as an accompaniment to any dancing that is done. Though music can be made from the body, I guess that generally falls into kind of like percussive sounds, and of course, since that's possible, it also music, the rhythmic sounds made from dancing, stomping, clapping, which could also all be part of a dance and ritual. So, I love it. It's enhancing. Even before I was a witch and got into paganism, started researching different types of paganism. The music, Orthodox music, is also music of Orthodox traditions, or not just Orthodox traditions, but like more organized religion. The various types of music has always called to me. Gospel music, Christmas music, as far as Christianity and its various sects goes, the hymns and chants used in those rituals, things like the Our Father and Hail Mary and that kind of thing, they just work for getting you in the mood, becoming one with the ritual. And it, as far as I was concerned, was one of the very few ways you could actually participate in the ritual. Okay, so other than that, it's the outside of, I guess, the more traditional, well-known, organized religions, there's things like vocal tones used in various Eastern spiritual traditions that are relaxing or meditative, or they just are inspiring. There are traditional dances in smaller religions, smaller being relative, let's say, not as popular in the Western world, that are just amazing, and I love it all, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, music is the universal language, in my opinion. not everybody's gonna love every sound that they hear, every move that they're seeing made to certain types of music, but we all have music. We can all understand music. Music can be emotive, music can be mood enhancing and mood changing, and just the sounds, the notes can be healing, and we can all feel it. So therefore, that's why it's the universal language. So as far as music and witchcraft and ritual goes, it can be for expressing the purpose of the ritual to enhance a ritual, to enhance magic, to empower the participants in the ritual, or if we're doing magic or spell work or any other kind of working, the music can be used to empower it. That's as can dance, but particularly stuff like chants. Most traditionally, spell work is kind of like words, whether they're written down, is one way, but another way is speaking them out loud and in a chant or a poetic form, or out and out singing. And then, of course, there's dancing, or using things like drums, cymbals, and any other instrument that you decide to use. Clapping, stomping, all of that can be used to empower your ritual or your spell work. And they're some of my favorite ways. Also, kind of like the period at the end of a sentence, or the space between the paragraphs to separate different sections of rituals. That's most often what the bell in rituals are used for. A way to denote the ending of one section and the beginning of another. Also, just to clear the air, to help bring in spirits, or protect from spirits and other energies. Using bells to clear negative energy from the air and make sacred space is very popular as well. I just like the bell. It's like, I have several bells. I didn't bring any of them over here with me. They're on the other side of the room. I didn't think about that, but the bell is awesome and often used in particularly Wiccan rituals and like ceremonial magic. And so, how do I use music in my craft? Pretty much all of the ways that I mentioned above, but well, not black, but including more singing. Singing is, I think, my favorite, possibly because that's what I kind of grew up with various Christian sects, but also I think because, well, I enjoy it. I'm not gonna sing here because it's something I am very self-conscious of, but yeah, I was in a choir growing up, in a church choir growing up, and it was my favorite part of church. And when I first started going to open pagan rituals, the singing, the chanting, clapping and stomping, that kind of thing, that's the easiest part to join in and feel comfortable because, one, we've all done this before, but also because you don't need to know the words so much as follow the rhythm. So it's simpler, and it's a group thing instead of focused on the individual. So if you're new to this or you're new to the group, it doesn't make you as self-conscious. So when I joined those open groups, that was the easiest part to join in on, to meet me, to feel comfortable, to feel included, to use my power, my personal power, and to feel that oneness with the group, to feel like I added something. So the open rituals that I joined all had some form of music, so it's just automatically included. So as far as what kind of music I include, like what do I sing? Me personally, for my personal individual rituals or spell work, I sing, like, I don't normally plan ahead. It kind of just comes to me. And usually it's stuff that obviously I've heard before, but that I've sung before, I've chanted before, and other rituals. And then I definitely include a lot of pop music, say the least, because to be quite honest, that's what I have more experience with. Popular music, what you hear on the radio, what you get on like Spotify and stuff like that. I have more experience listening to in my life than to quote unquote pagan music. So what is pagan music? That is not a question I can answer for you. I am happy to say at this point in time, pagan music is eclectic. And it has grown to the point where it is music created by pagans. So the focus of the songs, the chants, doesn't have to be necessarily about paganism or witchcraft or magic or spell work or Mother Earth or whatever else you think of, the occult, stuff like that, or deities. It can just be music created by pagans, which I think is lovely and wonderful. However, for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on, pagan music in the idea of the theme of the music itself rather than those who are making it. And I'll be perfectly honest, for the majority of what I heard is kind of on the folk music side of things, and I'm not really that much of a fan of folk music, which is another type of music. It's really hard to define. I think it's supposed to be like folk magic, the local stuff that the regular everyday people do. Nothing too enhanced or electronic. Even a lot of natural voices, natural sounds, acoustic type things. I think personally that, because I've been thinking about this for a while putting together what I want to include in this video, I think I'm not too much of a fan of the American folk acoustic sound in general. At least not for spiritual purposes. Um, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know how to put that. That's, something I'll have to deal with on my own. That's not for this video. But, so yeah, it's not really my style. And so what I tend to listen to, if I'm listening to recorded music, is not like the big name pagan musicians. Though I do like Damn the Bard, I do like S.J. Tucker, and I'm forgetting her name. There's one other like really big name, and I forget. But I do like some of their stuff, but it's just like for easy background listening. It doesn't put me in a ritual, magical mood. Like their stuff, I think that's what it is. It doesn't put me in ritual mode. And it doesn't put me in a magical mood or a mood that I associate with my craft. I don't know how else to put that. But there are tons of, contemporary music, pop music that does. Like, for example, for SABBATS, there's two songs that definitely come up, that just come to mind for particular SABBATS, Wiccan SABBATS. So for the autumn equinox, or if you're Wiccan, they call it Mabon, September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love that song. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, point blank, period. But September, it just comes to mind. They're talking about, things that happen in September. They specifically reference the 21st of September, which in general is when people think of the autumn equinox, the 21st, even though it changes year to year. But it's still in September, in late September, around that time, early 20s, late teens. So it just comes to mind and automatically puts me in that mindset of, the harvest and autumn and leaves are turning and, what's going on around me. Kids are back in school, just whatever. And I don't know why, but it's, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So it's funky. And for whatever reasons, I associate funk with autumn. Don't ask me, but that it just works for me all in all. Another one is, Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles for Imbolc. And the winter solstice is the longest night of the year, the shortest day. So Imbolc coming after that is like, now the days are slowly getting longer, and maybe we'll start to attempt to get warmer now. And I always just think of that refrain from, Here Comes the Sun at that time. Just, it's a sun holiday. It's a time to celebrate the sun, and even though it hasn't been completely gone this entire time, it still has not been as strong or as close or as warming. And so this celebration of the sun returning, this song is perfect to me. So there's that. And let's see. Other than that, it's kind of things that come to me when I'm like, let's say, mixing products for clients, like bath soaks or body scrubs, whatever, incense and oils. I have certain songs that I associate with those particular times, and so I sing them, putting that energy in, and letting it be a positive energy. And that's, my little bit of spell work for that client and that mixture. So yeah, I sing over your orders in case you're wondering. Let's see. So, general songs for magic. That Harry Potter song. The prologue, or sometimes called Hedwig's Theme, one album. It's called Lumos. And now I'm talking about the movies, the soundtrack from the movies. And it's just, magic will be happening here. And that's perfect to me. Let's see, what else? Things you could use, like, playlists are awesome. You can put together your own playlist, but like mood playlists on something like Spotify are absolutely wonderful. One that I like to use a lot is the spa retreats or something like that. It's the spa one, and it's just filled with things like chimes or natural sounds, but also just a lot of meditative type music, calming things, that kind of stuff. And I'll use that when meditating or preparing for ritual or during a ritual bath. Just that general, like, I need to relax and go deep before doing a tarot reading for a client, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of like stuff like women's empowerment when I, need to go to a job interview or something like that. So one's for rainy days, one's for, focusing. Deep focus is a favorite of mine when I have to do some tedious work. So mood playlists, I definitely recommend them if you don't have your own. There are also albums and playlists for healing and working with your chakras. I love those. They're usually recorded sounds of singing bowls. There's or tuning forks. You can get tuning fork therapy and singing bowl therapy at things like Pagan Pride or other holistic festivals. And that's absolutely awesome. Or if you have the money to buy your own singing bowls or tuning forks. Tuning forks are cheaper, but singing bowls are more popular. But either way, wow. So you can do that for yourself or for others. Thanks to Kurt Talking Stone and the Four Winds chorus. I think I like that more indigenous sound, and I say indigenous not just meaning Native Americans, but also certain African tribes, indigenous people of like the South Pacific countries, stuff like that. I prefer to like American folk music. I think I have a preference for this like drumming and percussion instruments rather than to like acoustic guitar. That might be what it is. A couple of other songs. Light is Returning by Charlie Murphy. That is a pagan-y song, but sung kind of like gospel music, which I love. I wish we had like more gospel style songs that were not gospel music in content. Yes, Junior. So yeah, and dancing, ceremonial dances. I don't know a lot, but I love dance. for the most part in pagan rituals, it's like skipping, running, jumping in a circle, or doing the spiral dance. Those are fun, but learning more intricate dances would be cool too. It's just difficult because that does take practice, and that's not to be perfect, just practice to know what you're doing. So yeah, that is my talk on pagan music. Let me know some of your favorite pagan musicians and songs in the comments below. Also, you'll find links to the musicians I mentioned and others, the songs I mentioned below as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.